Hey gamers, it's Grind This Game here with a guide on shine bugs. So shine bugs, they have a lot of different forms. The most exotic form is the radiant shine bug here, and it took me a very long time to get them. But I'm going to go over how you evolve one of these shine bugs. So the great thing about the radiant shine bug, first of all, is its decor. So it has a decor of plus 200, which is pretty amazing compared to some of the other things out there. Now you might notice if you turn on the decor overlay that it says decor 120 maximum. That's kind of misleading because actually if you look at a dupe, here's Lyria here, and we look at her decor under status. If you hover over decor, you can see right now her current environmental decor is 212. That's kind of like the running average. And as she walks around, that average will change. It's going down at the moment. But if you have a room full of shine bugs, these radiant shine bugs especially, their average decor is going to go way, way up. So the best place to put these guys is kind of close to bedrooms, because that's where they spend a lot of time. Or you might want to put them in kind of industrial areas to offset kind of negative decor. But I'm going to talk briefly about what's ranching and how to do ranching. If you want to check out my hatch guide video, which is the video before this one in the series, there's a link to the playlist in the description. I go into a bit more detail about what's required for hatching or for ranching. So for ranching, you need a room that forms a stable. And if you hover or if you open the room decor here, you can see stable. It's a minimum size of 12 tiles, maximum 96. And these here are close to 96, they're 88. And then it needs a grooming station, which is where a rancher will groom the animal, which will turn it from being in a wild status to tame. It'll also make it happy. But like I said, my other guide goes into more detail about that. You may also need a critter drop-off. You can optionally have an incubator. But I'm going to talk mainly about shine bugs here. So there are 7 different forms of shine bugs. If you actually click on one and then click on the little encyclopedia, you can see lots of information about them all. And here's all the different ones. There's I'll just go over them quickly while I have this open. So we've got the regular shine bug, which I don't have any more of because I've evolved them all. And then there's the sun bug, there's the coral bug, there's the royal bug, there's a lot of them, Azure bug, the abyss bug, and then the radiant bug. So you can kind of evolve one to the next, to the next, to the next. So I don't have any shine bugs, but if you feed shine bugs gristleberry, they're more likely to turn into sun bugs, and I do have some sun bugs over here. Let me just find one. Where do I have my sun? Here's a sun bug. So if you click on the sun bug and look under egg chances, you can see, and then hover over shine nymph egg, you have a 33% chance to get another or shine nymph egg. If you want a sun nymph egg, you feed them gristleberry, it increases the probability. But the next phase of the evolution is a royal bug, royal nymph. So if you want to get that, you need to feed them fried mushrooms. And then once you get a royal bug, here's a royal bug here, same kind of thing. The probabilities change, and the next thing in the evolution is the coral bug. And you need to feed it pepper bread, which is pretty expensive food to be feeding critters. And that'll increase the chances of getting the coral nymph bug. They eat 1,000 calories a day, so pretty expensive. Because they multiply so quickly, they're going to chew through your food pretty quickly. So you want to limit their numbers to prevent them eating all your food. So once you've got a coral bug, and I've got some coral bugs here somewhere, maybe I have some over here in this overflow room. Maybe I don't have any left. Oh, here's a coral bug. So coral bugs, you normally feed them pepper bread, like I said. But if you want to evolve them to the next stage, which is the Azure Nymph, you need to feed them stuffed berries. And where's an Azure Nymph? Here's an Azure Nymph. This took a while for me to do. An Azure Nymph, Azure Bug. You feed them Phosphorous to get the Abyss Nymph egg. Now, getting Phosphorous wasn't that easy for me. It's not that easy, and I'll explain briefly how you do it. Or one way you can do it. So Phosphorous is made out of phosphorite, which is pretty common on the map. Here's some phosphorite here. If you click on properties, you can see it has a melting point of 243 Celsius. So what you got to do is melt some phosphorite, and there's quite a few ways to do that, but the way I did it was using magma at the bottom of the map. So I made a tiny little room here. I put a container, I put a little bit of phosphorite in here, and then I built 2 thermium tiles. They don't have to be thermium, but you can use tungsten is good. Anything that's pretty good conductivity. And you can see the conductivity by seeing properties here. Thermal conductivity is 220 for thermite, or thermium. So there was magma here at 1400 degrees or so, and the heat conducted through here, heated up this room, and then I dumped the phosphorite on the floor, it heated up, and I had to quickly seal it because I didn't want this all this hot temperature to get out. And then it melted into a liquid, which I cracked it open, let the liquid drain out, and then you get phosphorus. The liquid here, you can see freezing point is 44. It turns into a gas at 280. So it was liquid at around 260, 270 degrees, and I needed to cool it down. So what I did was I mopped some of it up, which some of it's still here, but then I dumped it into a cold room with a bottle emptier. I just set it to phosphorus. That dumped it out here, and the liquid turned into a solid, and that's how you get the food for the Azure Bug. Let's go back up here to our shine bugs. Azure. Yeah, so I would say that's the trickiest one, getting the Azure Bug to the Abyss Bug. That's probably the hardest transition, unless you happen to have some phosphorus lying around. But I don't think there's any that spawns on the map. You kind of have to create it. So once you get an Abyss, the Abyss Nymph is a little bit, Abyss Bugs and Abyss Nymphs. The Nymph is just the baby form. They're a little bit different. They're most of the age of these bugs up until this point, all the forms I've described have an age of, let's click on one, of 25. But the Abyss Bug and the Radiant Bug, they die at 75, so 75 cycles. So it's a little bit different. And they also have this Abyss Bug. Oh, I'll go over all the decor that they have, but the Abyss Bug has 80 decor, so it's pretty good. And you can feed it Abyss Light to keep it alive. Now, there's not a whole lot of use for Abyss Light anymore, and I have 707 tons of it that's dug out. There's more on the map. And they only eat 1 kilogram per cycle. So you can sustain a crazy amount of Abyss Bugs for a very long time just feeding them Abyss Light. Because 1 ton is 1,000 kilograms, so you could keep... Oh, I won't do the math, but I could keep these guys going for a very, very long time. Now, if you want to evolve into the final stage, from Abyss Bug to Radiant Nymph, you need to feed them barbecue. So I was feeding them barbecue up in this room here. Up here. Barbecue's made from meat and pinch pepper. So I fed them a little bit of barbecue, and then I finally got my Radiant Bugs. It took a long time, like I said. Once you have Radiant Bugs, you need to, or you can feed them diamond to kind of maintain them. And there's quite a bit of diamond. I have 41 tons of diamond, and I haven't dug it all up yet. So, and they only eat 1 kilogram a day, or kilogram per cycle. You can also feed them, but you can see the percentage chance here. It's a little bit weird here. It says Radiant Nymph egg is at 98% chance. And if you... It increases the probability if you feed them barbecue. I guess it goes beyond 98, but you also have a 2% chance of just getting the regular shine bug. That's kind of the original form. So if you run out of shine bugs after evolving them all, you can... Don't worry, you can get them by doing radiant shine bugs. There's also, I think there's another way to do it from other forms here to get back to regular shine bugs. Let's see. Maybe not actually. No, it's kind of a somewhat one-way path. Let's just see some other ones I have here. Oh, you can get them from sun bugs. 33% chance at the moment for that one. Now, to maintain a kind of a somewhat stable population, I've used the critter sensor here, and I've set it to 2 or 3. But basically, when it's set to 2, it says if there's 2 or more critters, you'll get a positive active signal out of the automation. So right now in this room, I have 6. So this is true. I send it through a NOT gate, and I disable the incubator. And that kind of keeps their numbers in check. You can also auto-wrangle them using the critter drop-off. You can say if there's more than 5, send them off to somewhere else. And I had kind of an overflow room here where I just send them all. And then you can also just attack them while they're in here and turn them all into... Well, they don't turn into meat, but they'll die. So, what else did I want to cover here? Oh, just all the decor values. So the shine bugs decor 30. I'll put this all in the description, but sun bugs are 50, royal, coral, azure are all 50. The abyss is 80, and then, like I said, the radiant is 200. So if we kind of put on the decor overlay here, we're getting 400 from these two, and then another 2 or 600 if we're right here. Now the radius of their effect is 7 tiles, and if you put glass tiles, like window tiles, the decor kind of shines right through. So if we check the decor down here, we can see we're getting plus 400 from these two up here. It's shining through, which is pretty nice. So if I could redesign my base, what I would probably do, because they spend a lot of time sleeping at night, is put glass tile, put a radiant shine bug room between 2 bedrooms, and then all that decor can shine in both directions. I guess that's pretty much how you evolve them all. Is there anything else I want to say here? Don't think so. I will mention their statuses, but I go into this detail in the hatch guide. They can have a bunch of different statuses, like cramped. Cramped, their reproduction rate goes to negative 100. So you can see here, if I hover over reproduction, 7%, their reproduction kind of got halted at 7%. And it's changing at 0%. So if I just kind of left this room alone, there's a risk of them all aging to death without laying any eggs. So you got to be careful of that. There's also the glum status, which is their metabolism goes down minus 80. That's when they haven't been groomed in the grooming station. And they'll lose their... Oh, let's find a happy one first. If you groom them, they become happy. So you can see happy here. The reproduction rate goes up 900% when they're groomed, and it lasts for 1 cycle. So you got to make sure you have enough ranchers. And I didn't even mention that. Under jobs, you need the rancher job, which has a prerequisite of a farmer or farmhand. Sorry, not farmer, farmhand. So it's a long journey. It's not for the faint of heart. You need lots of different varieties of high quality food. I would suggest making 1 stable per form, and then whatever the kind of the next form and the step is, feed them whatever they need to go to that next form, and then have the next stable ready to go for the next form, and so on and so on. So originally in this room I was feeding them... What was I feeding them? I was feeding them barbecue to try to encourage them to get a radiant egg. But now that they're all done and we've got a radiant bug, I've shifted back to abyssalite just to kind of maintain their population here. And we're not incubating the eggs just because there's quite a few of them in here already. Now, if they get out, if your shine bug gets out, let's say he's out here, like right here. If you click on him or her, and you do, and you click, well, if I can actually click on them, and you click Show Navigation, this shows the possible path finding where this shine bug can go. And as you can see, there's a lot of decision making. So you don't want to have shine bugs out in the open like this because your game will lag. So keep them in their stable. Now I'm cheating and putting them inside and outside, but yeah, so that's it. I don't want it to be too long of a guide, but definitely worth the effort. It's fun. These shine bugs in general are a good source of shells because the regular shine bugs in some of the earlier forms are really good because they have a short lifespan and they'll hatch and they'll make lots of eggs for you, which you can turn into omelets, which are decent food. If you go into consumables, you can see you can make omelets here out of eggs. Now, I won't get into the details of all that, but you can crack the eggs in the egg cracker and then cook them into omelets in the cooking station or electric grill. So good source of shells, and shells are needed. Shells are needed in the rock granulator to make lime, and lime is an ingredient for steel, and steel is an ingredient for going up into space. So my base is kind of a mess right now, but once you want to get into space and build rockets and bunker tiles, you're going to need steel. So they're a pretty easy way to get lots of shells. Fish are another way, but I'm getting off topic, and I'm going to wrap things up here. Hope you enjoyed this guide. The next one's probably going to be on puffs. I got some puffs down here. I'll briefly show them. This is a really messy farm, but got some puffs here, and I've got some squeaky puffs here. But that's probably what the next guide's going to be. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.